Have you ever met someone new and immediately knew something was off about them? I was 10 when my parents divorced, and I stayed with my dad most of the time. It wasn't so bad at first. He really tried to make things normal for me. But that all changed when he started dating Julie. Julie was nice enough at first. She was always smiling, always sweet to my dad, but there was something about her that didn't sit right with me. It's hard to explain, but her smile never reached her eyes. They were cold, like she was wearing a mask. At first, she would only come over for dinner once or twice a week, but then she started spending more time at our house. Too much time. She'd linger after my dad went to work, insisting she was just cleaning up or keeping me company. Sometimes I'd catch her staring at me, not saying anything, just staring. One night, my dad wasn't feeling well and went to bed early. Julie stayed downstairs with me and we were watching TV. Out of nowhere, she leaned over and asked, "Do you ever wonder if your dad loves me more than he loves you?" I just stared at her. Who asks a kid that? I didn't say anything and she laughed like it was some kind of joke. But after that, I couldn't shake the feeling that she didn't want me around. Things got worse over time. Julie started rearranging my stuff when I wasn't home. My clothes, my toys, even my schoolwork. I'd find things where they didn't belong, like my toothbrush in the freezer or my shoes filled with dirt. When I asked her about it, she'd act confused or blame me for being messy. I tried telling my dad, but he thought I was just being dramatic. "She's trying to help," he said. "You need to give her a chance." One day, while my dad was at work, Julie offered to take me to the park. I didn't want to go, but she insisted, saying, "We need to bond." Something about the way she said it made my stomach twist. When we got to the park, it was practically deserted. She sat me down on a bench and said she needed to get something from the car. I watched her walk back to the parking lot, but instead of opening the car, she just stood there, staring at me. Then she smiled. When she came back, she had something in her hand, but I couldn't see what it was. She sat next to me, way too close, and whispered, "You know, your dad doesn't really listen to you, does he?" I shook my head, not wanting to answer. She leaned in closer, so close I could feel her breath on my ear, and said, "Maybe you should just disappear. Then it'll be easier for everyone." I froze. My heart was racing. Before I could move, she grabbed my wrist, her nails digging into my skin. She pulled out what she'd been holding, a small, shiny knife.